Well, hello, everybody. My name is Jeff Teschke, founder and CEO of Forge 3, and this is part of our 20-minute webinar series. So the idea with these is not this long, drawn-out 60-minute, or like it was 2 weeks ago, 90-minute webinar. That was different, though. That was a roundtable. So that's the excuse there with a bunch of really great thought leaders on it. This one's going to be very focused. Obviously, in the state that we're in across the planet at this point with COVID-19 and coronavirus and being forced to shelter and quarantine and all of this stuff, business is different. Life is way different. So there are tools at our disposal these days where we can still do business, but we just have to lean on the technology more so than we have in the past. One of the tools that has become, I think, a go-to, especially the last couple of weeks from what we've seen, is video proposals. And a lot of agencies that we work with are reaching out saying, you know, can you create users for us? Can you help us get these things going? How do they work? When do I use them? That sort of thing. And there was enough of that where I said, you know, let's just take that and do a webinar and invite as many people as want to come and just share that. So that's what this is today. So in the next 15, 20 minutes, I want to walk you through, I'm going to share my screen, you can see it right now, and talk about video proposals. I'm going to do it in two kind of ways. The first way is I'm going to use our platform to do it, but that doesn't matter, okay? It's the concept that you're going to understand. So I am going to use Active Agency, which is our website platform. So we have a number of clients on here, I see. So you guys are familiar with it. Inside of Active Agency are video proposals. It's a feature, it's already in there. So there are benefits to that you'll see. It's integrated with the website and the branding of the agency is there and it's password protected and hello producer and all this cool stuff is kind of integrated. However, if you don't have Active Agency right now, you still want to probably do video proposals starting today or tomorrow. There are other solutions for that. So we'll talk about that as well. So I'm going to kind of approach it in two different ways, okay? And again, at the end, for those of you that are on here live, the benefit is that you can ask questions, then I'll get to the questions at the end, all right? So video proposals, high level, is pretty simple. It's a way to share your screen, record your screen, and record your video, just like I'm doing here on Zoom. And the benefit of that is people use it, agencies use it, producers use it to record things. So if you're going to send a proposal to a prospect, or if there's a renewal coming up and you want to send over the policy, maybe you have two policies, maybe they're different carriers, and you're trying to explain the difference between the two. Or maybe you have different pricing structures. Why is my premium higher on this one versus that one? Well, is the deductible different? Is this agreed value? Or is this, you know, all these different terms that we understand in the insurance industry, oftentimes prospects and insureds don't understand. So that's why there's a benefit of sharing the screen, sharing the webcam, because that's the personal connection that you're having, because now especially we can't meet face-to-face. So there's that human piece of it. And even if we could meet face-to-face, there's a place for these. I know oftentimes I'll get a quick email and it's a complicated thing to explain through an email. So just like hit the button, record it, hit another button, send it off, and people are really impressed by it. So it's the wow factor. They're not expecting it. And they're certainly not expecting to see you on a webcam with your screen with their documents explaining it, okay? So that's what video proposals are. Now I'm going to show you, it's easier to see this, right? It's hard to kind of understand it just in words, so let me show you what this looks like. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm logged in here to Active Agency. Okay, so now remember, this is our website platform for insurance agencies, but the concept is what I want to try to get across here. So I'm logged in as a producer. So I only see my video proposals listed here. So I have one test that's in here. I did it earlier today. I'm going to record another one. How does this work? All right. So I'm going to click Add New. I'm going to say OK. So now it's launching the screen recorder. And you'll see here in a second that now the recorder is launched. And you should see, I think, at the bottom right of your screen there's my little webcam being broadcast, or being, not broadcast, but being captured by the software. I can say I just want to record my screen, I will just want to record my webcam, or I want to record both of those things. Typically, most producers, most agents that are using this record both. There's something they want to show on the screen, but they also want to have their little screen, their little head talking head down in the corner somewhere. And you can set this up and configure it. You can change the size, you can change the microphone, you can do all that kind of stuff. But in the interest of time, I'm going to say I want to start recording. So before I do that, I'm going to pull up my documents. You can use this for all kinds of different things. This is just a demo kind of insurance company brochure that we created. And then I have an insurance proposal here. So I'm going to get that ready on my screen. It doesn't have to be in a web browser like you're seeing it here. It's just easier for me to show the demo this way. So now I'm going to show record, or not show, I'm going to hit record. 3, 2, 1. So now it's capturing my screen and capturing my webcam. So at this point, I'm going to say, all right, hey, prospect or client or whoever it is, I just want to go through some ideas here. This is the company that I'm recommending. Here are the reasons why I'm recommending this particular company. They have a great track record. They're AM Best A+, and you can go through whatever you're talking about and step through the document, or show their website, or show testimonials, or whatever you want to show there. And then maybe you have a proposal. So so now that we talked about the company, I want to show you exactly what your insurance program was going to look like. So here it is, and I want to show you the pricing. I'm going to show you the premium and all of that detail, whatever. Okay, so you can record whatever you want. Now at the bottom here, I'm going to hit the stop button, and I'm going to say that I'm done with this. And now it's going to ask me to give it a title. So I'm just going to say video proposal test, and I'm going to say hello everyone on the webinar or watching it back, something like that. So now I'm going to upload it. As I upload it, it's now putting that into the Active Agency platform, in this case, into the agency website. So you can see here the upload bar, it's encoding it first of all, which means it's kind of packaging it up on the computer, on your computer. And then in a second, you're gonna see that it's uploading just like that. And now it's all done. So I'm gonna click the done button, and it says go back to where you just came from, which I'm going to do. Here's what popped up automatically. I didn't do anything else here, okay? And you can see now in this case, because we're within Active Agency, it's saying here's the link that you can share with your client or your prospect. Here's the password. Now it's important. These are password protected. You don't want them out on the internet willy-nilly. So there's a password that's automatically created. You can change these things. And then here's even a draft of an email that we drafted, so you can just copy and paste it. So I just click it once, you can copy it that way, and then paste it into an email. But the important part here is the link. So your prospect or client, whoever's getting it, is going to click on this link, and then they're going to type in that password. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to copy this password just like that. I'm going to click the button down here, View Video Proposal. So now pretend that you're the recipient of that email. So you just sent it to somebody. They get to your agency website. So F3 Agency is just a demo site. That agency doesn't exist. It just shows how our Active Agency platform works. So here, enter the password. Okay, well, I copied it from before. Now I'm going to hit submit. And there it is. So video proposal test. View the video. There are the notes that I entered. Hello, everyone on the webinar and watching it back. And then here's the recording that I just made. And I can play it back here, just like that. And I'll mute it so you don't get the crossfeed through the mic. So you can see there everything that was on my screen, including the zoom control bar at the top. That wouldn't be there for you, obviously. And you also wouldn't see the double pictures like you're seeing here. That's there because that's my Zoom preview that's on this live webcast that I'm doing. So your recipient would only see the screen, whatever you're recording, and then that little window of my talking head at the bottom right. And that would be it. So they're watching it back. They're like, wow, okay, this is really interesting. Notes over there on the right can be whatever you want to put there. And also, I don't know if you noticed this, this is kind of a unique touch because this is Active Agency. At the bottom right, there's the little Hello Producer panel that pops open with your contact information. So if you're the one that actually records it and you send that link, you might have noticed at the end of the link, it says #Jeff. That's how the system knows to show Jeff's contact information. So if you're a producer or the principal or a CSR or something like that, and you send one of these, they're going to see your contact information. Now, of course, at this point, since they're within the website, they can click around. So they can start clicking around and they can say, I'm going to start looking at home insurance because it's within the actual agency website. They can get a quote from here as an example. All of that's also on all of the pages. So if we go to auto insurance, here's auto insurance. You can see all the contents there. This is clickable coverage with those little dots. Some of you may have seen that. It's pretty cool. But then at the bottom, there's a quote request form. And because this little Hello Producer card is down there with Jeff Teschke in it, if I submit a form, it knows to bring it into the agency and tag it as being Jeff's. So you know to give that producer credit for the sale, that sort of thing. So that's what a video proposal is. When you're finished recording it, if I go back where we started here, you can see now we have two video proposals in the system. We have the one that I did a little while ago, and the other one that I just did. They're both called the same thing. You can call it whatever you want. Normally what I see agents do is something like insurance proposal for the Teschke family, or the insurance package for Forge 3 Limited, as a company, but whatever you want it to say. Now in this case, there are a couple of things I'll just point out here since I'm already in here. Here's the little show info window. So if you're like, well, what's that password again? You can go in there and you can see it in there. That's the link, that's the password. You can click the view button like we did before and you can get right to that page. And then also notice here it says page views. Right now it's 0. So when your prospect or client watches that video or accesses that page, they type in that password that you saw, it'll track that. So you know if you see a 0 here, it means, well, they never even saw it. They didn't even go to the page. You might have sent the email to them, but they never really got to it. The reason why it's showing 0 here, you're like, well, Jeff, we just watched it. Why doesn't it have a 1 there? It's because we're logged into the system. It knows that we're logged in and that we created it, so it's not going to count us because that would obviously be confusing. That's how it works. Video proposals are not complicated things, but they really are effective. I know there have been situations, like I said before, where agencies have done this way before the coronavirus pandemic, and will do this way after. In fact, I've seen quotes from real producers saying that the close ratio was up 10, 15% just by using video proposals. There's a power to it. The tip, though, that I'll leave you with before we look at another solution that can do something similar is that you still need to follow up on it, right? So don't just send the email, right? So don't just click this and do this and grab the link or whatever and send it and say, all right, well, I'm done. You still got to follow up, right? So did they watch it? Do they have questions on it? That sort of thing. But it is a great tool, especially in the environment that we're in, all right? Now I promised, now remember, if you're on here live, there are a couple of questions that I see in here already. I'm going to get to those in a sec. If you are on here live, benefit is that you can ask questions. So if I missed something or went too fast on something, let me know. But I do want to show you another option besides using active agency. So Loom is one. So loom.com, Loom.com, is where you would go for this. Because the reality is, if you're not using active agency now, or if you don't want to, or whatever, or you still need to be able to do something, at least now with the coronavirus stuff going on, Loom is a really easy way to do it. It's free, at least the standard plan, that kind of like it's a freemium model. So they have the free version and then they try to get you to pay. But it's a similar concept where you can click, you can record your webcam and your screen and everything. I'd say the biggest difference with this is that it's the integration piece, right? So whereas with active agency, it's within the agency structure, right? It's inside of the agency. So there's a professionalism that comes across. And the Hello Producer, that little Jeff Teschke thing at the bottom right of the screen pops open, and there's an integration that happens if somebody submits a quote request and it ties it to the producer and that kind of stuff. So there's a professionalism, but Loom accomplishes the video proposal part of it. So if you're just looking to record your screen, record a mic or something, and you want to send that with a password to a prospect or something, and you want to start doing it like ASAP, Loom is a decent option for that. So it's loom.com. It used to be useloom.com, and then they switched the domain name. I guess they bought loom.com, probably for a lot of money, and that's what it is now. So either one. So I know we have a lot of clients on here using active agency, a lot of producers saying, I'm curious, how do I use these things in active agency? I showed you how to do that. For those of you that aren't doing that yet, Loom would be a decent option, okay? So let me look at a couple of questions here. So there are a few, and then there's a couple of chats in here. Because that was 20 minutes. 20 minutes goes fast, doesn't it? Let's see here. So what do you say to the person who says we don't click on links in email? That's from Anonymous. Good question. So I think it comes down to follow-up and reinforcing that it's actually us. That is easier if the link actually says your website address in it. So if it says abcagency.com and that's your agency, well, that looks more legit than even loom.com or something that's not familiar to people. But follow up. You might want to give them a quick call saying, hey, by the way, I recorded a video personally for you. There's a link in there and it's safe to click, that sort of thing. Curious what your thoughts are about something like Zoom meeting with a client or prospect where we may share our screen with a person and go over the proposal that way. The main difference is live and unrecorded. Can I have some back and forth interactions as opposed to doing a recording? Yeah, Loom is another great tool. I'm using Loom right now to record this whole thing and broadcast this live. But you're right, that's the biggest difference. With Loom, you are on with them live, which is great. So the convenience factor is not as great. Oftentimes, if you can't set up, you have to set it up, right? You have to set up a meeting at 2 o'clock on Thursday, and then you got to connect through Zoom and then do it that way, which is awesome. We do that all the time, and you should do that. But if it's a quick thing where you just want to say, here's a video, and you want to make it convenient for them to watch whenever they want to watch it, or maybe if it's a company policy, they're going to want to share it. Maybe you send it to the CFO, but the CFO needs to share it with the CEO and that sort of thing. That's where having the recording is helpful. You can record Zoom as well, but it's just not, it's not designed for it. Password protecting part, and there's just issues with doing that all within Zoom, I think. Can you change the background on your video? Yes, you can. It's going to record whatever you want to record. So you can record the entire screen like I did here today, or you can record just a section of it. So it's completely your call. You can change your background. You can do all that with both solutions. It doesn't matter, either one. Can Active Agency, this is from Trey, can Active Agency be used in live Zoom interactions with clients? Can Active Agency be used? I think I understand the question. The answer would be yes. You'd just open up your website on Active Agency. So just go to your website and you'd be able to use whatever pieces of that you'd want to. So if I missed the intent of that question, let me know. Does it track if they actually watched the video and if they watched it the whole way through? That's from Jesse. So in Active Agency, it doesn't. I'm not sure about Loom. Active Agency right now, at least, it records when they're accessing the video. So if they didn't even look at it, that's kind of the purpose behind that. That's a good question. From Julia, does each producer have their own unique WordPress account, or do we all use the same one? Great question. No, you don't all use the same one. You'd have, at least in Active Agency, each producer would have their own login. So I'm logged in here as Jeff Teschke user, which is a producer, and you can see only my video proposals. There are a bunch of other video proposals in the system. I can't see them though because I don't own them. So you'd be very kind of isolated into your own sandbox by doing it that way. There are editor users, kind of higher level users in Active Agency. Those people would be able to see everything, but they also have control over the website. So it kind of makes sense. Good question. A few more questions. I love the questions part. So if I didn't get to something, I wanted to keep this quick. So I went through it pretty quickly there. Can I just add an agent photo if I don't have a webcam or desktop webcam on the desktop at the office? I don't think you can just put a photo in there, but you don't have to record your webcam. It's not required. Some agents don't. They don't have a webcam. They're not comfortable with it. They're okay with the mic or a headset or something. But that's totally your call. That's anonymous. I'm a producer. Do I have to have the agency owner's permission to log into Active Agency? You need to have an account on Active Agency to get in. But whoever is the contact there at your agency working with us can just send it into our team, and then we'll set you up. It's real simple. There's a resource on our website as well on forge3.com on how to use video proposals. Let's see. Carl, I did not understand how a document is called up into the recording. So that's really simple. It's going to show whatever's on your screen. So in this case, I just had these proposals in my browser like this. But you can do whatever you want to do on your whole computer screen. So you would just open up your PDF or open up a website, or whatever you want it to show on your screen is what would be recorded. So it's not very complicated. It's actually very simple. It's what you see is kind of what you get on that. Great question. Sam says, what does SEO stand for? Search engine optimization. I'm not sure how that relates to this specifically, but that's what it stands for. That's how you get your website to rank in Google. Rebecca, is it only a link to the recording, or is there a picture of the video like Soapbox? Soapbox is another one. You can include in the email. You could include a video or some sort of screen grab of the video in the email. You'd have to take a screenshot and just plop it into the email. Email in general, so in social media is the same way, is pretty limiting as far as you can't have it play right within the email. So you can't have the email sent to them and they just click right in their email and it watches it in their email. So that's why it takes them to a website, whether it's your active agency website or whether it's Loom or Soapbox or something else. A couple other ones. Paul, can you recommend a decent camera? I'd be using this on a desktop with no built-in camera. Well, Paul, if you can find a camera these days, I like the Logitech cameras. So if you go to Logitech, Logitech, in fact, I'll just pull it up here. Logitech makes some great cameras. They're cost effective. They're also pretty much all sold out right now because everybody wants one. I don't know where it is here. Smart home speakers. I don't know. You'd be able to find it on here somewhere. I don't want to bore everybody with the details here. Yeah, it's on here somewhere, I promise you. Logitech's a good one, but they're sold out. I was looking into this before because I had a feeling somebody would ask the question, and everyone's sold out. You can buy one on Amazon for like $350 bucks, which is way more than what it typically would be. But if you shop around, you'll be able to find something, I would imagine. How do you create a user for Active Agency? Just have somebody at your agency reach out to us, and we can do that. Is the conversation not as good with no webcams versus the webcams, or does it not really matter? The webcam, I mean, so imagine if you didn't see me right now. If there was I've just blocked off the camera and you didn't have no idea what I looked like, what would be better? I think that kind of answers the question, right? Seeing people is always better than not seeing people if you're able to do it and you're comfortable doing it. Let's see. So Jesse said, I've used multiple platforms, Dub, I've never heard of Dub, Loom, Vidyard. Vidyard is another one. And while those are great for other reasons, I do have to say that your platform is easy to use and nice and quick. Oh, thank you. And he'd like to see the ability to include a linked GIF in that. Great feedback. And we have a number of things on the list to actually build out video proposals. So we'll add that and consider that one. And then the ability to track if they watch the whole video or not. Absolutely, it's another good one. All right, that was the questions. I don't know if there's anything else in the chat. It's always fun to fly solo on these. I like when I have my team or somebody with me so they can help me with these things. But I'm going to look at a couple more things in the chat here because I do see some questions. And if you want to hang out with me, since it is almost the bottom of the hour, I know some of you have meetings and stuff to go to, completely fine. You can drop off if you want, but I will go through these questions and then you can always catch up on the recording if you want. So Rebecca, I think we did talk about the other tools besides Active Agency, Loom, Vidyard, a couple of the other, Soapbox. So if you do a search on Google, you'll probably find a number of them. And it's just a matter of figuring out which is the best option for you, you know, that has the best features. Let's see here. Chad says, any reason why I chose Loom versus Wistia, Vidyard, et cetera? Loom tends to be the one that most people go to. It's kind of like the darling child of the industry for whatever reason. They just got a lot of clout, a lot of momentum, and it's just simple to use. It's just easy. It's free. Starts at free anyway. This is from Jeffrey. If my agency decides to use Active Agency, what is the cost? Is it per producer? No, so it's real simple. The cost is for the whole thing. It's not just video proposals. It's $250 a month. You can see on the screen here. So there's no setup fees. You're not locked into a long-term contract. So it includes the entire website with a bunch of other stuff that we didn't talk about here. And one of those things is video proposals. If you're interested in that, Jeffrey, what I would suggest is go to forge3.com and you can explore there. And then if you want to schedule a demo, Zach or Kenny can walk you through all the other stuff that's in there. Let's see. Another Jeffrey. We have Forge 3, but don't see the active agency tab. The active agency is your website. So it's not, you're not going to see some thing where it says click on active agency. That's just what we call the website that's powering, or the platform that powers your website. So you got to log into that. If you have questions on it, just email us at team@forge3.com. And then we can help you get pointed in the right direction. John, can it include a link to an email address, a chat feature? Yeah, absolutely. So the notes section, you can put whatever you want in there. Even the format of what it looks like. So if I go back to, just go back here so you can see the video proposal screen again. Do it, where was it? Go back, go back. But the format and the look and feel of what's actually on the video proposals page, of course, I don't think I have it saved anymore. Let me see. Can all be changed. So if you're like, well, you know, I'd really like to put this on this page, or I want to put a thing where our awards are listed at the bottom or something, we can customize the heck out of this page. So something to keep in mind. What you're seeing here is kind of the general version of it. But yeah, live chat can be included. All that stuff can be in there. Chad, can we show you how to log into Active Agency as an agent? I'd suggest in this case, since there are a bunch of people on here that don't have Active Agency and don't understand what that means, just reach out to us. You can go to our website, use the chat at the bottom right, or email team@forge3.com. We can help you out. Tammy, how long do the video links stay active? Forever. And if you can delete them if you want. You can also remove the password. So some agents I know record the videos in there and they want to make them public. They want to share them on social. You can do that as well. Jeffrey said, is there a discount based on number of producers at the agency? There's no discount because it's not per producer. It's just $250 a month for active agency. It's for the whole agency. Let's see, a couple other questions and I think we're all set. Trey White says, is conversion not as good with no webcams versus webcam? So I think we talked about that before. It's always best to have the webcam on. It's the human element. People love that. And how long do the video links stay active? Again, Tammy, from an E&O exposure, you can, if you want, download the video and put it into the agency management system or save it if you wanted to, if you wanted kind of a backup of it. So that's another option to kind of help with that part a little bit. And 4 more questions, I think, in the Q&A, and then we'll wrap this thing up. Rebecca, is there a best practices to email content to make the video pop? In my opinion, the best emails are basic emails. As soon as it starts looking like a newsletter or a bunch of gobbledygook images and stuff, it doesn't work as well. I've seen this all kinds of different ways over the years. And I think the reason for that is kind of twofold. One is people just don't want to get pounded with newsletters because they're trained to just not even look at it. So if it looks like there's too much stuff going on or there's too many graphics, it looks like it's not real. So you want to reinforce that personal connection with people by making it feel genuine because it is genuine. I think that's one reason. The other reason I think is a lot of times the email programs that people use, like Outlook or whatever, block images by default. So when you send your email with all these great images in it, even in your signature at the bottom, you might have your head shot down there and a bunch of awards and the logo of the agency and stuff. The problem is that oftentimes that stuff's blocked and it looks like crap then. It's just red X's and all this kind of stuff. So, you know, so I would just say, make it simple, short, sweet, to the point. And then, like I said before, follow up, make it part of the process. Ken, can I use my cell phone as a webcam? You can, but not for video proposals, at least within Active Agency. The other platforms, I don't know, to be honest with you. Usually it's the webcam on top of your computer. And then there's, thank you. Is Loom like WebEx? No. Loom is like what you saw built into Active Agency. WebEx is more like Zoom. So I know these terms are confusing. WebEx is more for like live meetings, doing webinars and that kind of stuff. Whereas Loom is really designed for doing not video proposals necessarily. That's how you can use them in this context, but recording your screen and sharing it with people. So that's what it is. That's video proposals in a nutshell. It's about 20 minutes or about 10 minutes of questions or so. I hope this was helpful. You know, I know that we live in interesting times right now with the whole coronavirus thing, and and trying to figure out how to get through this stuff together. But the one thing I know is we will. The insurance industry, I think, in general, is isolated and insulated from a lot of this stuff, we're all very fortunate, I think, for that. And now is the time to use the tools. We're being forced to work remotely, but we still have to do business. We still have clients we have to serve. We still have prospects that are interested in services that we provide. And it's up to us, a collective us as the industry, to step it up and to leverage and lean on the technology way more than we have in the past to get through this period of time. But what's going to happen is the learnings and the comfort that we all build up now is going to persist. And that's a great thing for the industry. So if you have questions on video proposals or on active agency, I know I talked about active agency quite a bit. You'll find that on our website, which is forge3.com. I will send a follow-up email for those of you watching this live. You can reply back to that. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, what you thought. Do you find these things helpful or not? And otherwise, you know where to find me. So I hope it was helpful. Take care, everybody. Stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.